During my interview, there was a traveler next to me also enrolling on arrival, well, on the other side of the booth, and that customs officer was asking him all the questions on the application. I couldn't help but to look over at that officer and think,
"Are you new here?"
Hey guys, I'm Krista Amanda, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my global entry enrollment experience from start to finish. And for those who don't know what global entry is, it's a trusted traveler program that offers expedited customs processing when arriving back into the US from international destinations. It also includes TSA PreCheck, an expedited airport security screening service from departing US airports. So if you're a frequent international flyer, I recommend enrolling in the Global Entry program, and I'll get into the why later on in the video. But before I begin, I just want to add a disclaimer that this was my personal experience, and I'm not guaranteeing that the same will happen to you if you enroll in Global Entry. So without further ado, let's get started. Like mentioned in the intro, the benefit of both TSA PreCheck and Global Entry is that they offer expedited security screening at departing US airports. And if you have Global Entry, it also expedites the customs processing time upon arrival back into the US from international destinations. And since Global Entry includes the benefits of TSA PreCheck, you only have to pay one membership fee. If you're ever running late to the airport and are a TSA PreCheck or Global Entry member, most likely your security screening should be quick if the TSA PreCheck line is open. Meaning if you have an early morning flight like 5 a.m., TSA PreCheck may not be open yet. And when returning back to the US from an international destination, instead of getting on a long customs processing line, Global Entry has kiosk machines in a nearby area that will process your re-entry back into the US. US airports that offer TSA PreCheck have two security lines, the regular line and the TSA PreCheck line. And the TSA PreCheck lines are usually much shorter because you don't have to remove your shoes, jacket, or belt, nor separate your liquids and electronics. And in order to enter the TSA PreCheck line, you must be a TSA PreCheck member. Now, there are some instances where TSA may randomly apply TSA PreCheck to flight reservations of non-TSA PreCheck members as a courtesy. I believe TSA does this to encourage travelers to enroll in their program. In order to enroll in TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, you must complete an online application. And the Global Entry application is more extensive than TSA PreCheck. In addition to your personal information, residence information, and background check, the Global Entry application also asks for your employment and travel history and vehicle information. So have all of your information ready to enter on the application, like your residence, employment, and travel history, backdated 5 years, and any criminal history, backdated 7 years from date of enrollment. And include vehicle information if you're going to be traveling by car when crossing the border. Pay the $100 non-refundable fee via online payment, and this covers a 5-year membership. I don't have the list of credit cards, but certain credit cards waive the Global Entry fee, so you can confirm that with your bank. The next step is if your application gets conditionally approved, you can proceed with scheduling an in-person interview with Customs and Border Protection to complete the enrollment process. And during the end of your interview, you will have your photo taken and get fingerprinted. The last step is if your application gets approved, you will receive your known traveler number, KTN, via email and membership ID card in the mail. So when booking your future flight reservations, remember to enter your known traveler number so that TSA PreCheck can reflect on your boarding passes. And when returning to the US from an international destination, don't get on the long customs processing line. Instead, there are Global Entry kiosks that will process your entry back into the States. Then you can either proceed to baggage claim if you checked in luggage, or the parking garage to pick up your car if it's parked at the airport, or simply exit the airport.
It's like a reward.
Another difference between Global Entry and TSA PreCheck is that TSA PreCheck costs $78 for a 5-year membership, and Global Entry is $100 for 5 years. And the TSA PreCheck payment is due at the end of the enrollment process after the interview, whereas Global Entry requires the payment at the beginning of the process during the application stage. So now let's get into the timeline of my entire Global Entry enrollment process. Day 1, I submitted my Global Entry online application and paid the $100 membership fee. Day 3, my application was conditionally approved. And after you're conditionally approved, you'll receive an email from the Department of Homeland Security with instructions on what to bring to your in-person interview. 30 days later, after I was conditionally approved, I had my in-person enrollment on arrival interview. 10 minutes after my interview was complete, my application was approved and I received my known traveler number, also known as KTN. 2 weeks after my application was approved, I received my membership ID card in the mail. I kid you not, my interview was literally one question, and that was to confirm my current employer. So when I arrived back to the US from an international trip, I asked the airport personnel to direct me to the enrollment on arrival area, and he just told me to wait in line for the next customs officer. To schedule an in-person interview, there are 2 options. You can schedule an appointment and have it at an enrollment center, or select the enrollment on arrival option, which is completed at participating airports. For my in-person interview, I selected the enrollment on arrival option because at the time I applied for Global Entry, there were only 2 or 3 airports that were available for interviews, none of which were any of the tri-state airports near me. Okay, so now I reached the booth and the customs officer asked for my passport and proof of residence. He dictated my employer and asked me to confirm if I currently worked there, and I did. Then he started typing on his computer. Next, he asked me to look down at the camera that was on the counter to take my photo. Then he started typing again on his computer. Last, I had to take my fingerprints. Left hand 4 fingers first, then left thumb, then my right hand 4 fingers first, then right thumb. And when I was done with that, he started typing again. Then he said I was all set and started explaining to me what to expect if I got approved. He said if I'm approved, I'll receive my known traveler number via the TTT portal and my membership ID card in the mail in about 2 weeks, and to activate the card upon receipt. And I was done. During my interview, there was a traveler next to me also enrolling on arrival, well, on the other side of the booth, and that customs officer was asking him all the questions on the application. I couldn't help but to look over at that officer and think,
are you new here?
No, but seriously, that customs officer was doing her job and following protocol. So if you select the enrollment on arrival option, the length of the interview could depend on the customs officer who processes you. Keep in mind, although the customs booths are set up on opposite sides of each other, there is no privacy during the interview process. You're literally standing outside a booth and answering questions. If you prefer a more private interview, try scheduling an appointment at an enrollment center. So my entire enrollment process was about a month, from submitting my application to getting approved.
Sensational.
And remember that enrollment on arrival only works if you're returning to the United States from an international destination, because you must get processed through customs. If it's a domestic arrival or connection, you cannot use the enrollment on arrival option. Enrollment on arrival does not require a scheduled appointment. However, you do have to verify which airports participate in this service, and the Department of Homeland Security will provide you with this list via email, or you can visit cbp.gov. Now, I know this is a global entry video, but since I talked about TSA PreCheck, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention CLEAR. Compared to TSA PreCheck, CLEAR is another airport expedited security service, but there are differences between CLEAR and TSA PreCheck. So let's go over a quick side-by-side comparison of both. TSA PreCheck is a government program. CLEAR is privately owned. TSA PreCheck is $78 for a 5-year membership. CLEAR is $189 for a 1-year membership. TSA PreCheck has a separate security screening line. CLEAR does not. CLEAR jumps you to the front of the regular security line. TSA PreCheck does not require you to remove your shoes, jacket, belt, nor separate your liquids and electronics. CLEAR does. TSA PreCheck is available at over 200 US airports. CLEAR is available at about 50 airports. TSA PreCheck does not scan your eyes nor take your fingerprints when checking in at the airport. CLEAR does at a CLEAR kiosk machine to verify you are who you are. TSA PreCheck requires a background check to enroll. CLEAR does not. TSA PreCheck enrollment process can take weeks or months to complete. Clear only takes minutes via online or at a Clear airport kiosk. To apply for TSA PreCheck, visit ttp.dhs.gov. And to apply for Clear, go to clearme.com. So what do you think about the Clear program? Let me know in the comments. All right, now let's do a global entry recap. Submit an online application, pay the $100 non-refundable membership fee. Membership is good for 5 years for land, sea, or air travel. If conditionally approved, select your in-person interview option via scheduled appointment or enrollment on arrival. If approved after your interview, you'll receive your KTN and membership ID card in the mail. Once you receive your membership ID card, it must be activated. And no need to carry your card with you for air travel, but it is required for land travel when crossing the border. The benefits of TSA PreCheck is included. Global entry includes expedited entry back into the US from international destinations. And lastly, this is a reminder, but if your address, phone number, or employer change, remember to update your TTP online profile as soon as possible, because this information must be current and up to date. To apply for global entry, visit ttp.dhs.gov. Let me know if you're enrolled in TSA PreCheck, global entry, or Clear. And how do you like it? Do you think it's worth having? Have you ever heard of any of these traveler programs? Or if you're not enrolled but a frequent flyer, will you consider to enroll in any of them? And which one? If you have any questions or want to share your enrollment experience in a traveler program, comment down below. And all of the enrollment links will be listed in my description. If you found this video helpful and enjoy travel content, please don't forget to like, share, save, comment, subscribe. Just click everything. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!
Provocation, c'est ça qui commence la pagaille. Imitation, c'est ça qui commence la pagaille.